This is Renelle, and welcome to Quality Hang with Rod Brooks and friends. And here he is now, your host, my main man, Rod Brooks.
Thank you very much, Renelle. I am Rod Brooks, and welcome everyone to a special afternoon delight version of Quality Hang. As always, even during the daytime, I am joined on this broadcasting adventure by my friend, my partner in crime, the co-host of Quality Hang. He is Marcus Osborne. What up, man? How you doing?
What's good, dude? It's raining like crazy outside right now. I don't know if you're seeing that where you are, but it's a little disconcerting to have some time off and just be sitting here while it's raining. I can't do that.
I love it though, but now it's starting to feel like Christmas. I don't own any Christmas sweaters, so the closest thing I have to a Christmas sweater is my Budweiser sweater. Why? It's because it's red. It's the only thing I got. But no, man, it's starting to feel like Christmas. I mean, yeah, it's dreary outside, but I mean, it's been dreary here for the last month with all the fog we had. So at least we're getting some beneficial rain. But yeah, man, it's 4:30, so it's basically dark now. So winter is upon us. It has us in its grips. So I'm at the point, because what's today's date? The 19th. I'm at the point now where like I'm full in on Christmas. You know, when you're doing it when I'm seeing Christmas commercials in mid-October, that's a problem. People who go headlong into Christmas on November 1st, I think you're all sociopaths. But now you get to this time, like, yeah, man, it's Christmas. Let's get it.
Oh, we just got a disconnect.
Did we? I see you. We're good. We're good.
Yeah, all right, we're cool. We had a blip in the forest just now. So whatever you keep saying, I'm not here.
It wasn't that impressive anyway. As always, before we start the show in earnest, we thank our presenting sponsor, the fine folks at Hop Monk Taverns. 3 locations to choose from: Sonoma, Sebastopol, and in Novato. And at all 3 locations, they all do the same wonderful, and I mean wonderful things. Fantastic food from a wildly diverse menu, a craft beer selection that is absolutely out of this world, and a live entertainment, diverse live entertainment selection that is equally as diverse as the food and beer they serve. So check them out online at hopmonk.com to see what they have coming up as far as shows at all 3 locations. Definitely follow them on all of the socials. But if you happen to be near Sonoma, Sebastopol, or in Novato, you cannot go wrong by dropping into one of those Hop Monk locations. I promise you'll have a good time, and you will walk away with your hunger and your thirst satisfied. Let's get into the Niners. I think the story of this season, however it ends, Marcus, for the Niners, it's going to be cloaked in the Niners always, like they always fell upward. You lose Brock Purdy, you get Mac Jones, and he helps you win games. There's no significant drop-off at quarterback play. Yeah, they're 2 different quarterbacks, but there's no significant drop-off. He made plays to help them win, Mac Jones. You lose Fred Warner. You lose Nick Bosa, 2 extraordinarily important parts of your defense. So while the Niners defense still has some holes, and holes that I think is going to keep it from getting the number 1 seed and possibly getting to and winning the Super Bowl, it didn't cripple the defense. They were still able to craft together enough of a pass rush and get enough guys on the back end to do a good enough job to be in somewhat concert with the offense. So the Niners fell forward again. You know, they started the season with Jake Moody, and he almost lost them that first game of the season against the Seahawks. They get Eddie Pinheiro off the street. Any other team that had a kicking problem could have gotten Eddie Pinheiro. Yep. The Niners got him, and he has been a part of the Niners being the best special teams unit in the NFL. There are several other examples of the Niners continuing to fall forward, and last night was another example. Niners didn't play a football game last night. The Seahawks and the Rams did, and because the Rams forgot how to score in the fourth quarter, and the Seahawks won, if the Niners beat the Colts beat the Bears, and then beat the Seahawks in Week 18, the Niners, with all of those injuries and all of the things that have happened to them, the Niners will have, if they win these next 3 games, the top seed in the NFC and home field advantage throughout the playoffs, including the Super Bowl, which is going to be played at Levi's. They didn't play a game a couple of weeks ago, and they moved up from 7th to 6th in the NFC playoff standings. Didn't play a game last night, as I mentioned, and now they have a chance to be the number 1 seed if they win out. How a team with all of those injuries gets that kind of luck, I don't believe in NFL script writing, but it's crazy how that worked out.
Yeah. I think about the way this season has gone. This has kind of been an ongoing story with both of us. How are they doing this? Basically, how are they doing this? And it really has been, in large part, because of the preparation, the motivation, and the coaching of one Mr. Shanahan.
Yeah.
You got to give him all the credit in the world. And of course, credit in the world to the players, because they got to go on the field and make this stuff happen. But let's be honest, many times in the past, this same squad has had these types of injuries. Any other year, I don't know how they managed to survive it this year, but any other year, this season is over. This is a 4 and 13 squad. They have kicked ass this year, and nothing but the greatest admiration for me.
I will say this, though. Yes, please.
There also hasn't been a that has sort of dominated all year long. Everybody's kind of very good or garbage, but nobody's great, and I think that also helps as well.
Yeah, I mean, they have been the beneficiaries of a 4th place schedule for sure, and the NFC West playing the AFC South and the NFC South. Both of those divisions thought to be lesser divisions, although the Texans and the Jaguars are probably going to go to the playoffs. The NFC South is an absolute train wreck. And so for the Niners to benefit from that scheduling, and also playing the Giants, not the Saints. They played the Browns. That's right. Playing those last place teams and beating them obviously has contributed to what they've done. But when you look at the fact that the Niners 4-1 in the division and 8-2 against NFC opponents, like that's the I call them the load bearing walls of this structure that the Niners have built. But they've the players, again, I don't know if you could call it luck with Mac Jones, but it's damn good fortune.
Absolutely.
I think the Eddie Pinheiro thing is almost luck. He could have been snatched up by anybody. Now he wanted to come here. He said he did want to come here, so I guess that kind of takes luck out of it. But the Niners again were the beneficiaries of good fortune that Eddie Pinheiro wanted to come here and fix a problem that indeed was a problem for the Niners. But I do think that there is a bit of, with the players, I think there is a bit of them almost being used to dealing with injuries. And to me, there was almost like a fight or flight situation for the Niners this year dealing with injuries. Hey, are we going to let it do what it did to us last year when they only won 6 games? Or are we going to find a way to overcome it with just the sheer strength and the sheer will of the collective of the players and the coaches, not just the head coach, not just the defensive coordinator, not just the special teams coordinator, but I'm talking position coaches as well, the guys who deal with the individual players on a one-to-one basis way more than the head coach does, and even the defensive coordinator. I do think that there was a bit of that involved, that we just, because you look at other teams that have had to deal with injuries. I take the Lions, and I'm cherry picking here, but I take the Lions as an example. The Lions are a very injured team, and
Yeah.
they were unable to do anything with that. You look at other teams that have had to deal with injuries. They just succumbed to the amount of injuries and the injuries to key players like the Niners have had. I think that for the Niners, again, they've been the beneficiary of good scheduling, favorable scheduling, and other favorable things. But I really do think just sort of a team-wide collective of, hey, man, we've been through this before.
Yep.
Are we going to allow it to just completely and totally crater our season? And they haven't.
Yep.
And I you credit the players for that almost exclusively, or at least I do anyway.
Yep. You got to keep your head on straight. You got definitely credit the leadership of the players to keep your head on straight. Like this, we're not going to let this get to us this year. We've been through this, just like you said. We're not letting it get to us this year. If teams going to beat us, they're going to have to beat us.
Yeah,
we're going to not beat ourselves. We're going to be as good as we can possibly be, and hopefully that's going to be enough to win more games than we lose. I love it.
And listen, it's about to get tough here for the Niners. This is the real football season. Once you get into December, this is real football season. All of that stuff that happened in September, October, and November, it's important. It can be foundational,
sure.
But big boy football is played in December. And I think for the Niners, these last 3 games, Carolina, I got it written down here, Carolina, Cleveland, and Tennessee. These last 3 games with that bye week in between Cleveland and Tennessee, these have been like preseason games for the Niners. All in preparation for these next 3 games to finish the season and however long they are in the playoffs. And I will continue to harp on this until I see something differently. The Niners' run defense is what's going to keep them from doing something extraordinary. The Niners' run defense, if it is giving up 7.5 yards a carry to Jonathan Taylor, as it did to Pollard last week, Niners are going to lose that game.
Yeah.
If the Niners are allowing 4.5 yards a carry like they did against Cleveland, Niners are going to lose this game and lose the game against the Bears, which is a completely different animal. To me, we talk about pass rush, and it's extremely important. Coverage busts on the back end. The Niners had 3 of them against the Titans. That's 3 too many. 2 of those busts resulted in touchdowns. But for me, the Niners have to find a way to get some semblance of a stout run defense. They had it all the way back when they faced Atlanta and held Bijan Robinson to less than 3 yards per carry. It's in them. They can do it. Now, they had Michael Williams in that game, and not having him is huge. But Fred Warner didn't play in that game. That was Tatum Bethune's first game as a starter. And Tatum Bethune led the team in tackles. The Niners are going to get Bethune back. They're going to get Okawanu back, and Elliott, and Yetur Gross-Matos, and Kendricks is going to be in the mix. So they're getting more bodies. So I think that lends itself to the Niners being better against the run. But if they're not, and they allow Jonathan Taylor to get loose, they're going to piss away a golden opportunity that was given to them by the Seahawks last night.
It's really helpful in a weird way to have different players out there on the defense because you kind of have to learn who these guys are.
Yeah.
You build a game plan for these other defensive players. Well, now you got these other guys on here. So now we're going to figure out how to do this. And now that all these players are coming back, you got to figure this out again. This could end up, I'm spinning it, but it could end up being an advantage for them. You never know. You got to.
Yeah. And see, my girl Patty from Napa.
For fans' sake, this run defense gets better, but I mean, proof's in the pudding, baby. Over the season, you are what you are.
Yeah. Well, listen. They allowed 4.5 yards a carry to the Texans, 5.5 yards a carry to the Giants, 4.5 yards per carry to the Rams, 2.5 yards a carry to the Cardinals. But remember, Jacoby Brissett threw the ball 57 times in that game. So that almost doesn't even count.
The
Carolina.
sucks.
Yeah. Carolina, 5.5 yards a game. As I mentioned, Cleveland, 4.5 yards per game. My girl Patty's saying, get more positive. We can do this. Yes, they can do it. But I think now the playtime is over. Okay.
Yes.
All right. The Niners
it's sort of like golf. Moving day. You're in the middle of moving day right now.
Yes. This is Saturday at the Masters. 100%.
Exactly right.
The Niners have a chance, if they win these next 3 games, to have the top seed in the conference. Literally be 2 games away from the Super Bowl at home. Right? There's way too much at stake for them to be as bad as they've been at stopping the run. So why I don't feel like I'm being negative. I feel like I'm being honest about this, that what's going to stop them from getting that wide open road to possibly the Super Bowl will be their inability to stop the run. I think you have to be harsh on them. I think you have to be judgmental about what they're doing as far as their run defense is concerned, because it would be a damn shame with how great that offense is. It would be a damn shame if the defense, and specifically the run defense, is what kept the Niners from doing something that was complete. No one in their right mind, when this season started, even when the Niners were healthy, no one in their right mind thought that there was a chance that the Niners could have the number 1 seed throughout the NFC playoffs. Now that they have that opportunity, you can't screw it up by allowing 5.5 yards per carry, which is what they've done too often than not over these last few games.
Yeah, I think too often folks get caught up in realistic conversation. And realistically, the 49ers run defense ain't good. It just ain't great.
Not as good as it needs to be. No.
Yeah, and you can't say that that's not being positive, because actually being positive is being realistic and honest. Because the honesty part is that this team should not be where it is now. Based on the injuries that they've had this year, they should not be where they are, and that's the positive. But
this team is never going to get this opportunity again.
Right.
You know, when I say this specific opportunity,
this team
to be 2 games away.
That's right.
If they win these next 3, to be a divisional playoff game and an NFC championship game away from playing the Super Bowl at home. This team is never going to get this opportunity. So since you have this opportunity, because of the Niners' resilient play, because of the resilient nature of the team, to get this opportunity because of their play and the Rams' inability to score in the fourth quarter, you got to be, you got to self-examine, and you have to be critical of yourself. Now, again, I do think the Niners have the capability of being a better run defense to help out the rest of the defense and to be a partner to the offense. I think it would be negative if I said they got no chance. No, they have a chance because of the bodies they have coming back, and I think they understand the gravity of this situation. But I need to see it first, and I have seen it against Atlanta. So if you could do it against Atlanta, you could do it next Monday against the Colts in Indianapolis.
Yeah, it's time to play full games. It's time to play complete games, because that's the
big
only
boy
way
football, baby.
That's it. It's the only way you're going to get this thing pulled off. You're running up against big boys now. And then when you get into the playoffs, obviously the competition is going to be stiff every week. Yep. So, yeah, you need every advantage you can get, and it starts now. Moving month.
The playoffs for the Niners start on Monday. These are all playoff games.
Facts.
The Niners will engage in 3 consecutive playoff games. And I like it. And I guarantee you they like it too. They like the stress. They like the pressure too. Let's get to the Warriors before we do some goofy stuff and then get out of here for Christmas. 30 turnovers. No, what was it? 20 turnovers and 30 points off of those turnovers. Was that what it was last night against Phoenix?
That's insane. That's insane.
And what is insanity it's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. It's
I don't
insane
think
for
it
them
can
to keep turning the damn ball over and expecting a different result.
I don't think that that's going to change. I really don't. Like, even
No.
just based on the kind of offense they run, the turnovers are not going to come. With the Warriors, if they can hold themselves to 18 turnovers in the game, they're going to have a shot. But generally speaking, this is through this entire dynastic run, this has been their Achilles heel.
Yep.
And to make it worse, it's always their best players, the most important players, with the most turnovers, whether it's Draymond, whether it's Steph. I mean, those two guys are always the guys with the most turnovers.
Yep.
And I don't think that's going to change. But they had the talent to overcome it years ago. They do not have that now. This is not a roster that, from my standpoint, is ready for a championship run. That being said, because of their experience, if they get into the playoffs and they get into these series, well, they give themselves a fighting chance. But generally speaking, this is not a championship roster, dude.
No. It's at this point, it's not even be one of the 8 teams in the conference roster. This team is going to look different once you get past January 15th. The Kuminga situation will take care of itself, and I think there are going to be more. There should be more moves made before the trade deadline in middle of February. I guess that's when it is. I forget exactly, but obviously some point in time after the calendar changes here in a couple of weeks. But the way it looks right now, it looks old, it looks tired, it looks small, it looks discombobulated, it looks like certain guys are frustrated because they are doing the same things over and over and over again. Because there weren't any games this week up until yesterday. Warriors Twitter was just putting on a command performance, everyone playing their roles. You had your Kuminga stands, Kuminga haters, Kerr haters, Draymond stands. You had, everybody was at war, and it was just c'est magnifique. But listen, it has nothing to do with stands, and it has nothing to do with coaching and rotations. You had the rotation guys in there. This guy should play over this guy, and blah 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 blah. Hey man,
based on what?
Yeah, exactly. They turn the ball over. They turn the ball over. They can't shoot, and they're undersized at positions where you need size, and they don't have the wing length and athleticism that they need in today's game. But a style of play, a need that the Warriors, I think, ushered in and thrived in, of course, when they were winning championships. They had a team full of dudes who were 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", who could defend multiple positions, and they could get out and run, and they could knock down some shots. And obviously Steph and Draymond and Clay and then Kevin Durant were at their absolute peak. Now they have a bunch of dudes who are 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", who are just not that good and can't defend and can't do the things that this Warrior team needs to do within the framework of the offense that Steph Curry wants to play in and that they've run in for years. So you could talk about coaches, you could talk about rotations, you could talk about all that nonsense. They're just
ain't good enough.
They're just built poorly. They're not good enough. And listen,
not good enough.
I ain't the only one that's saying it. There are a lot of people that are saying it.
They're saying it.
Thank you. Thank you. They know it too.
Yeah. I guess my frustration with the discourse is I always feel like, okay, this is going to sound very boozy. I would rather have conversations like this with people who actually understand professional basketball
and don't have an agenda.
Yeah, I'm like, it's not all Steve Kerr's fault. Who else is going to coach this team to being great? It's not Draymond's turnovers. It's not Steph being old. It's not just give Kuminga 30 minutes a night. That shit is not going to make this a good team. They ain't got the players. Period, point blank, end of story. And all the bitching and moaning and crying that Warriors fans are doing is almost the most illiterate kind of perspective on it. You guys don't know what you're talking about. Like, learn what you're talking about. Stop telling me that Steve Kerr can't develop players, because you got to tell me what players have gone on to be great somewhere else. You got to tell me who developed Kevon Looney. Hell, Jordan Poole came out of here and went on to be Jordan Poole somewhere else. Not necessarily great, but this is not a bad coach. He didn't suddenly forget to do it. There was something interesting that someone said in an interview the other day, where they said that maybe Kerr's voice is not being heard as much as it once was. I'm a big believer in that. And I heard it for the first time from Pat Riley about 25 years ago, where he said essentially a coach has 10 years where the players will listen to him. After that, they start to tune him out because the message isn't new anymore. It's not new anymore. So, if they make changes, go for it. Now is the time. But let's not pretend like this is a team that was going to win the title this year. And I even thought they were going to be good. Title, maybe not, but I still thought they'd be better than this. But you see that this is just not a great team.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Yeah. Period. End of story. And you just you have so many people out there who, like I said, have agendas, and I don't think all of those agendas line up to, hey, I'm a fan and I just want to see the team win. I think that there are self-serving agendas out there that color a lot of the discourse on the Warriors. There are people who could see that the end is near, and that's going to have a direct result on the content they produce. Let's put it that way. There are people out there who see that the golden goose is looking a little peaked, and they know it's coming, and so they're lashing out, and somebody's got to take the blame. But that's I've probably even already said too much there. But
no, you right on point.
There's going to come a reckoning, and unfortunately, it's going to come when Steph no longer plays, and that's when it's truly going to be over for this iteration of the Warriors. But there's going to come a reckoning when Steph is done, and there are going to be people that you will never hear from again when it comes to the subject of Golden State Warriors basketball. Because they were just there for Steph Curry. But because they are just there for Steph Curry, whether there is a financial component to it or just a fan component to it, but you have people who were just there, the people who were just here for Steph Curry. Well, when that's over, now what? Now what's what they've one of my favorite words of this year is actually one of the words of the year, and it's parasocial. And the parasocial relationship that a lot of people have with Steph Curry has completely and totally warped how they discuss the Golden State Warriors. Because if their whole thing is Curry centric, then every ounce of discussion about the Warriors is going to be viewed through a Curry-centric lens. You dig what I'm saying? So it's impossible to have a legitimate, genuine basketball conversation about what's wrong with the Warriors with someone who all they care about is Steph. And they will say the dumbest shit like, well, you got to get him on the ball more. He's got to have the ball more. Or he's got to be running with this guy. He's got to be running with that guy. Or maybe they should do, when Allen Iverson went to that Sixers team to the finals, just let him shoot and everybody rebound. Like no, it doesn't work that way, And then you have people like yourself. You're from here, born and raised here, so you Warrior fan way back in the day. You remember the bad old days. People who look at it and go, "Yeah, right now it's not optimal. It's not ideal. It's not fun to watch. It is definitely frustrating, and there are people to blame." But these sort of everything's finite.
Yes,
everything has a shelf life.
Yes.
And this is coming to an end. And yeah, it could be better. And maybe in some instances, there should be a certain demand that it be better. But, everything runs its course.
They're not operating under the Bill Walsh plan of let's get rid of players before they get to their worst point. If that was the case, if the Warriors were really concerned about rebuilding and all this stuff, they would have traded Steph Curry probably a year or two ago. They would have traded Draymond Green probably 2 or 3 years ago. They would have let Klay Thompson walk 2 or 3 years ago, or maybe even cut him. Like, you have to be – the reason that the OKC Thunder is in the position that they are in now, obviously Sam Presti is amazing, but they had some shitty years, and they had to get a bunch of nice draft picks. That's how the Warriors built their dynasty. A bunch of shitty years so you can get some decent draft picks. And the reason that these young guys, quote unquote, haven't developed is because the Warriors really haven't had great draft positioning. And the one time that they did, James Wiseman turned out to be a bust.
Yeah. No, they've smoked the draft picks. That's a legitimate talking point and a legitimate reason to be frustrated or out and out angry with the Warriors. But it's like I said, it's hard to have a legitimate basketball discussion with a lot of people if they're just completely and totally hyper focused on Steph. It's it's just the discourse is cooked. Let's put it that way.
There's this idea that there's a simple fix to everything. Well, if it was as easy as everybody says it is, every team would be doing it. It's not as simple as fire the coach. It's not as simple as put in this guy for 30 minutes a night. It's not that simple.
Nope.
I feel like we've reached dumb people status as Warriors fans here because we've become the fans I've hated all my life. Those one simple thing, and suddenly we're going to be great. No.
No.
Sorry, I'm venting.
No, I love it. I love it. All right. I'm gonna do something different here before we close out here and enjoy our Christmas.
Actually, I want to hit you with another little quick thing.
Oh, please. Yeah, please.
Because the last couple of weeks, there's been a lot of talk about Roger Craig's former San Francisco 49er going into the Hall of Fame. Yeah. I hope he gets there. He's great enough to get there. But you know what it made me do? Because I enjoyed Roger Craig when I was a kid. I went back and started watching some old 49er games on YouTube. Joe Montana was really good, dude. You forget. Yeah. But when you watch him play, oh my God, this dude is amazing. I watched the game. This is one of the greatest games any quarterback has ever played. They were playing the Eagles in Philadelphia, 89. And this is when Reggie White was at his peak. And Veterans Stadium, you know what it was like.
Yeah.
Montana was getting his ass kicked. I forgot how violent football used to be. He was getting his ass kicked. He got sacked 8 times in that game. So he got hit several times more. They went into the fourth quarter down by 11. Montana throws 4 TDs in the fourth quarter, and they win 38-28. That dude was so goddamn good. It's so good. People need to go back and watch how good Montana was. And I think I may have said this to you before, but I see the way Brock Purdy plays is what reminds me of the way Joe Montana plays.
I mean, you're not the only one to say that. And there have been people who not only saw Joe Montana play, but played with Joe Montana, or occupied the same space as Joe Montana, who they've said that they see a little bit of Steve Young. I know sees a little bit of Joe in Brock Purdy. Yeah, no, you can 100% see that. There is a multi-part documentary coming out in February. Yeah, before the Super Bowl on AMC about the Niners. I cannot wait to see that. Coming. Long time coming, and it's going to introduce a lot of people to Joe Montana. Because I mean, we saw him play live, although I don't think I felt like I didn't see him play nearly enough, but we saw him play live. There are enough people out there who love football and no football who
Mhm.
didn't see Joe Montana play. Didn't see, the Chiefs beat the Oilers in the playoffs. Was it 90? I think
94?
93, I
Three?
think it was. Yeah, because it was after the Buffalo debacle, and that was in 92. So it was in 93. So Joe Montana's
Mm.
career was basically over by 1994.
Yeah, he was. Yep.
That's 30 years ago.
Yeah.
It's just there are enough full-grown football-loving adults who didn't see Joe Montana play. They saw Tom Brady.
Generation of football.
Yeah. A couple generations. So
Yeah.
there are going to be a lot of people who are going to be introduced to Joe Montana and why he was, before Tom Brady showed up and did what he did, why Joe Montana was widely considered, without question,
Yes.
considered to be the greatest quarterback of all time. It
I would
was
still-
Johnny Unitas. Then it went to
Johnny
nobody
U.
questioned it. Then it went to
Nope.
Joe. Nobody questioned it.
I would still take Montana over Brady at this point. And I only say that because Montana was far more mobile
Yes.
than Brady.
Yeah.
And so he had a different dimension than Brady. Think of if Tom Brady could run, you'd have an unstoppable player.
Yeah. There was a documentary on Joe Montana. I think it was on Peacock.
Yep, it was really
And,
good.
I knew that Joe Montana was an athlete. I didn't know that Joe was a hooper. I didn't know
Yeah.
that Joe was that. Like, Joe was banging on people.
Bulldog. Yep.
Joe,
Yep.
Joe was yamming on people. I was like, whoa, okay, my bad.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because when you watch, like, I probably watched 4 games now, and I remember him being an agile quarterback,
Mhm.
but you forget really how agile he was. I mean, he had this jump pass that he would do. He would pull this thing out all the time. It was an amazing. His accuracy was also insane.
Yeah.
And I think that at the time he was playing, like, he had 70% accuracy one year.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like, oh yeah, this dude really was fucking great.
He was that
He was
good.
great.
He was that dude, and glad we got a chance to see him. Obviously, glad we get a chance to see Tom Brady too, because that gives you some perspective to
Mhm.
know that ultimately, George, you judged by winning, and both of those guys did. Brady won more, but two completely different quarterbacks. But to watch them both, and then Tom Brady sees Joe Montana. Matter of fact, I think Tom Brady's narrating the documentary, that's multi-part documentary that's going to be
really?
on AMC.
He's a big Montana guy.
Oh
He's a
yeah.
big-
Oh yeah. He's a big Niner
big
fan.
Montana guy.
Big Niner fan growing up in San Mateo. That reminds me, since you were reminded of something, I'm completely grabbing the wheel and going in a different direction.
Oh, good. Yeah.
You saw the Diddy doc.
Oh, did I ever-
Just go. Just what
wow, dude. So
just go. Just go.
So here's the thing about this documentary. You can tell it was made by somebody who was really trying to bury this cat. Bury him.
That person, of course, being 50 Cent.
50 Cent. So it's so, you don't know what to believe. And so I kind of had to find like, nah, that shit didn't happen. Because I also had some memory to myself, like, that didn't happen, that didn't happen, that didn't happen. So that bugged me. Like, I don't like these hit pieces, because that's basically what it was on Diddy. And it really had to be bad at some points for me to go, damn, am I feeling sorry for Diddy? Like, what? But I just want the shit to be true. I want it to be right. So when we shit on this cat, I shit on him for the right reason. That being said, yeah, dude, like they said, he put GHB in water, in the baby oil. They were saying he put the GHB in baby oil. Well, of course, I don't even think that's possible. I don't even think that can have an effect on anybody. But just stuff like that.
Wait, hang on. He was putting the roofie drug
in baby oil
under the assumption that it would absorb into the skin.
This is what I'm saying. I don't believe that, because I don't think that's possible scientifically. That's what I'm like, okay, y'all just making up some shit. They talked about how
it's not possible scientifically, but I do believe somebody as deranged as Diddy
Just say
Wait,
stupid people.
right, yeah, and also having no understanding of the human anatomy or how it works. I could see him going, Playboy, if we just put it in the baby oil, it'll just seep into their skin. That's my, by the way, that's my Diddy impression. That's all I got.
That's a good one.
All I can say is Playboy. After that, it sounds like me. So yeah, I could see him doing that. But I don't know how that works. I'm guessing that it cannot be absorbed in the skin. But what do I know?
I don't think that's possible. In order for it to work, it has to be ingested. But he's also one of these kids who was. They always talk about how these CEOs, etc., have some psychotic tendencies, psychopathic tendencies. He clearly does, and it started out the way most of these things start out. The guy was just ambitious. He was trying to come up. He was trying to learn the game, etc., etc. But every time he had something successful happen, a little bit, he didn't used to drink or smoke or do drugs at all when he got in the game. But again, the more power you get, the more money you make, the more people who say yes to you, the crazier you get drunk with power. And this is exactly what happened to this kid. You're talking about a guy who didn't have no women. And if you look at him, you understand why he ain't had no women. He was so obsessed with becoming Andre Harrell. Really obsessed with that. And then he got to the point where he was like, oh, I'm bigger than Andre Harrell. So he started trying to steal acts from Andre, etc. He groomed his girlfriend, Cassie, Kim Porter. He was smacking all these chicks around. But again, this is stuff that started happening after he became Diddy. It's like a completely different human being got inside him. I don't know if it's a deal with the devil or whatever, but this dude changed and he became a monster.
I forget when I found this out. This was years ago, before any of the stuff that eventually got him taken to jail and soured him in the court of public opinion. That Cassie video coming out. I mean, that was the that was the inflection point.
Yeah.
But when I heard what I'm about to mention, I was like, oh, okay. I get it now, because we had all heard in the ether that he was up to some shady stuff, but you didn't know, right?
Yep.
But when I found out that his father used to run with Frank Lucas, the heroin kingpin in Harlem, that American Gangster, that movie was based on, that his old man ran with Frank Lucas and was murdered. Diddy's old man was, when he was 3 years old. Now, obviously, a 3-year-old would have no knowledge or understanding of his pops out there in the street, and wouldn't understand a murder of your father. But when I heard that, I'm like, oh, this gangster shit is in his blood. Yeah. Like that's a whole part of his get down. And knowing that, just having a baseline understanding of where he came from, the environment, the chaos that he came from, being the son of a gangster that was murdered at 3, all of it started to make more sense.
Yeah.
And so now, armed with that knowledge of his upbringing, and obviously hindsight giving us perfect vision, you're just like, yeah, that tracks. That tracks that he would be someone who would use violence and other nefarious measures to get what he wants. Where Diddy was, I mean, I would say smart. Where he was smart is that he wrapped all of that bad stuff up and packaged it in a very almost affable and definitely sort of friendly media presentation. You dig what I'm saying?
As a cultural icon, he presented himself as a cultural icon.
Exactly. Yeah. It's amazing how he presented himself almost in a harmless way. You know what I mean? Like it's until we got the Cassie video, there were a lot of people out there thinking he physically couldn't do what a
Yep.
lot of people had accused him or had knowledge of him doing. That's the that's the psychopathic part. Like, man, if you would put all that to good use, you could have been bigger
Right.
than you were. But he chose to succumb to his vices and his own psychopathic desires. Like it's the borderline fascinating to see where he came from, how he got what he got, and where he is right now.
Well, it almost had that OJ feeling where
Yeah,
OJ
yeah.
says, I'm not black, I'm OJ. Well, that's almost the opposite thing with Diddy, where he was always talking about black this, black that. But the insiders say he didn't spend much time around black folks. And there's one scene that interested me, and I'm like, I can't say that it was like edited funny. This is the scene it was, because stupid him, he had the cameras following him during the trial,
because he thought he was going to get off.
and so
Off of the charge, not well. Anyway.
So once this happened, he decides suddenly I need to be amongst the people. So then he decides to go to Harlem and just walk around Harlem and shake hands and kiss babies, because he ain't been there in so long. And of course, people come up to him. So one dude goes up to him, hey man, I got this jacket. I want you to have it. Then it's like, oh, I love, that's great. It's so cool. You think black men stick together, etc. Gave him the jacket. Puff took it. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. He got inside the van. See, I'm gonna have to go home and I'm gonna have to spray. I'm gonna have to, what do you say? Spray myself off. And I'm like, oh, that's gross. That's gross. How can you talk about a man that way? But this is who he was. This is who the dude was. I have to disinfect myself. That's what he said.
Did he kill Tupac?
Nah, he ain't killed Tupac.
You don't think so?
Nah, and this is what I mean when I say this. A lot of made up shit. You can tell somebody who really was trying to go after him, but we know that he ain't killed Tupac. We know who killed Tupac. We know that he wasn't involved. As a matter of fact, we do know who killed Tupac, and it had no one who had anything to do with Diddy. But also, Toure had a long account of this, and I think they also insinuated that he killed Biggie too in this documentary. Insinuated he killed Tupac and Biggie. Diddy had nothing to do with either one of those. However, according to Toure, who is a very established and a very well-respected journalist, his research leads him to believe that Suge Knight was the person who killed Biggie, or who had Biggie killed, not Pac.
Yeah.
And the whole Pac being killed had something to do with something else altogether that Pac got himself in at the casino in that fight and all that stuff. So but this documentary does try to make it look like Diddy had something to do with both of them being killed. I'm like, nah. And they said that there's a thing where they tried, after Biggie's death, they had the giant public funeral in New York. And, remember he did the song with Sting on MTV and all that stuff. There was a rumor that Rolling Stone wanted to put Biggie on the cover. And Diddy said, no, I got an album coming out, put me on the cover. Now, that's what is said in the documentary. But again, Toure comes out and said, that's some bullshit. Rolling Stone never put rappers on the cover. And he worked at Rolling Stone. He said, Rolling Stone never put rappers on the cover. And my understanding of that situation was they weren't going to put any rappers on. Diddy just happened to get on there because of the stuff with Biggie, and they wanted to talk about the story. But even then, the editors had to be convinced to even do a cover story about a hip hop artist. So Toure was like, "Nah, that didn't happen. It didn't happen." So there's things in there where you have to question. That's all.
Interesting. Last show before Christmas, and I want to do something here I think is very important this holiday season, and talk about something that happens around this time of year, and we need to get into it because it is Christmas and it's the time to come together. And I think we all need to come together. And we don't have to come together to agree, but I think we need to come together and stop something. And we need to stop this whole thing about Die Hard being a Christmas movie because it's not a Christmas movie.
You
Okay?
stop what you're saying.
It's
Rod
not
Brooks.
a Christmas
Of course
movie.
it is.
Die
This
Hard is a great
Die
movie.
Hard.
No. It's not a Christmas movie. It's a movie that happens to take place on Christmas Eve and have a couple of Christmas themed moments. Ho, ho, ho. I have a machine gun now.
Thank you. That's all you need.
That's no, you need more
That's all
than
you
that to make it a Christmas movie.
That's it.
No.
They had
You
Run
could-
DMC playing in the background. Christmas time in Hollis.
A Christmas
soundtrack.
song does not make a movie a Christmas movie.
If Die Hard doesn't happen on Christmas Eve, it's not Die Hard.
So you're referring to the Christmas party, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Had to happen.
Okay. If it's a retirement party, does that change the movie?
Only if he's not retiring on Christmas.
No. If it's instead of the Christmas party being where all of the employees are, so the terrorists can come in and hold them hostage before they try to take them up to the roof of the Nakatomi Plaza and blow it up. If that's a retirement party, okay, does that change the movie in any way, shape, or form? Do you have to have the party? I'm not saying the party's not important. You have to have the party, the gathering, to where all of the hostages are in one place for the terrorists. The party is central to Die Hard.
Right.
But does it have to be a Christmas party? The answer to that question is no. It could be a retirement party. It could be a Valentine's Day party.
Right.
It could be a St. Patrick's Day party. It could just be a party for party's sake.
Right.
It being a Christmas party does not make Die Hard a Christmas movie. Stop it.
But since it
But
is
what?
a Christmas party and it's happening on Christmas Eve at the holidays, everybody's wearing their costumes, Santa references. My man, the limo driver, I forgot his name. He's out there rocking Christmas music. Christmas movie. Come on, man. Come on, quit playing.
No. The limo driver is only there so he can use
He's
the
wearing
limo.
a Christmas sweater.
Oh my God. That doesn't make it. Okay. All right. Fine. Okay. Since you're stuck on, there's a couple of Christmas centric themes in the movie that makes it a Christmas movie. I'll ask you this.
Yeah.
Is Trading Places a Christmas movie?
Of course it is.
Oh my God. How?
It's a Christmas movie. It happens at Christmas. It's literally happening at Christmas.
It takes place over the course of several weeks. There
Of the
happens to
holiday
be one.
season, and it's Christmas time. The
It's-
entire thing takes place over, even in the poster, he's got on a Christmas hat. If you look at come on, man. Come on.
These are not Christmas movies. They're movies that happen to have Christmas centric themes in them. Elf is a Christmas movie. A Christmas Story is a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Love Actually is a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
If Love
Christmas
Actually
is
a
not
Christmas
central
movie,
to the plot of Die
I don't
Hard.
think Christmas is central to the plot of Love Actually.
It takes place around Christmas time.
But that's why I say it's a Christmas movie.
At least, oh my God. If you took Christmas out of Die Hard, it's still Die Hard.
If you take Christmas out of Love Actually, it's still Love Actually.
No.
That's it.
No.
Those porn stars aren't thinking about the baby Jesus in Love Actually, dude.
I cannot believe you're one of these people that are just perpetuating this falsehood that Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Die Hard is a great movie. Die Hard is not you could remove every single the most referenced parts of Die Hard have nothing to do with Christmas? Nothing.
Okay, that's fair.
Nothing. Yeah,
That's
but
fair.
but if Christmas is central to the movie, therefore making it a Christmas movie, you would think that more of the Christmas elements in Die Hard, and there are some, cannot deny that, you would think that that would be more beloved when it comes to people's affection to or for the movie. It's not.
But that has more to do with the genre of film it is, which is action Christmas movie, than anything else, right? Like if I watch Elf, most of my references to Elf don't really have anything to do with Christmas when I think about it. Like I think about him eating gum off the escalators. That really doesn't have anything to do with Christmas.
Well, yeah, it does, because it's an elf eating gum off the escalator.
But he's not an elf. He's a dude.
Yeah, but he's still an elf. He's just not wearing the elf costume. No, he's an elf. He's not the he's not an elf in stature, but he's an elf growing up with elves.
He wasn't born that way. He's trans.
He transitioned to an elf. Listen, okay. I'm the holidays are about coming together and it's about peace. But if you encounter anybody out there espousing this nonsense that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, do what I just did with a close friend of mine. Be very loud and argumentative about the fact that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. Ruin your entire family gathering. Piss off your coworkers at the Christmas party, or just go up to a random stranger and just yell, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, and all of you need to stop this bullshit. Okay? We're not falling for your ruse anymore.
and y'all who are on the pro Die Hard Christmas movie, don't let these people bring you down. It's brainwashing. It's all propaganda. They're trying to convince you it's not what you. They're trying to convince you that what you know to be true is not true. Stand tall.
I never once considered you to be part of the facts don't matter crowd, Marcus, but here we are.
Listen, I don't believe in flat earthers. I don't believe in anti-vaxxers. I believe in this shit. I'm gonna stand on some Die Hard as a
And on that note, we're gonna go ahead and get ourselves out of here. Once again, thanks to our presenting sponsor, the fine folks at Hop Monk Taverns. 3 locations to choose from. Check them out in Sonoma, Sebastopol, and in Novato. Quick programming note, no show next Monday because of Niners and Colts Monday Night Football. So make sure you join us on NBC Sports Bay Area Niners pregame an hour before. So we'll start at 4 and then an hour after the final gun. So join us on NBC Sports Bay Area on Monday for all of your Niner coverage. And no show on Thursday because Christmas is next Thursday. So we will see you folks before. Well, maybe we'll do a show before New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. How about that? If we can pull it off, let's see if we can do a show. But definitely once we get into 2026. By the way, that just hit me like a ton of bricks a couple of days ago. That 2026 is coming up. It almost brought me to my knees.
This year goes.
Jesus Christ Almighty! It's just it's like the clock has been sped up. It's on fast forward. But if we don't do something before January 1st, we will definitely be back in full force and back at our somewhat regular schedule of doing shows on Monday and Thursday. So since we will not talk to or see any of you folks, or you won't see us, I should say, before Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, which is going on right now. Happy holidays to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being a part of what we do. All the quality hangers in the chat, all of you folks out there. We just, again, we do this for you. We could not do it without you. And we thank you so much. And we wish all of you the merriest of Christmas. Wouldn't you say, Marcus?
Amen, baby. Thanks a lot for the support. And we're going to try to keep this thing rolling on into 2026.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. So, everybody, have yourself a fantastic Christmas. Everyone, be safe out there. If we don't talk to you next week, we will see you in 2026. So, maybe an early Happy New Year to all of you as well. So, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. But as always, before we do, we tell you to be good and be good at it. We'll see you.